You've been a guy who, obviously, you're one of the analysts on the broadcast. I'm wondering, what's the experience like for you when you listen to DC and the guys actually commentate your fight? Like, knowing them personally and knowing, how the sausage is made, so to speak.
Well, Anik, to me, I watch Anik do so much homework leading up to a fight. Like, people have no idea how much homework he has to do to be prepared for that. And the most kudos for me really goes to him. He leads us in the broadcast with how he talks. When it comes to DC, I usually mute it. I love DC, he's my friend, but to me, from my experience, he doesn't do the homework. He wants to get in and out, get the job done, make his money. And I think he cares about us, but it's just different. He doesn't do the preparation from my experience. He might now. I'm hoping he watches some film this time on me so that he knows what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. That's for sure.
Do you ever get on? Obviously, I know how you feel about DC. Do you ever get on some of the other guys when they commentate your fights and text them like, "Bro, that was not what I was trying to do at all in there"?
Honestly, I'm never perfect. So there's a roster of 400, 600 fighters, and not everybody's gonna agree with what I say either. So it's all perspective in there. And DC is he's a gifted athlete. And I think Bisping does a lot of homework. I think he watches a lot of film. And I think that there's certain people that watch the film, and I count that because I do the film study. And the reason I do the film study is it's bigger than me. I'm not in there talking to hear myself talk and to be right. I'm in there to support the athletes and talk about why they're great and what makes them great. And in order to do that, I need to watch film. I need to see what they do against different styles and how they match up and what creates the openings that they create in those fights and why. So I really don't call or text any of them because they're just doing their job, and they're seeing it how they see it. It's their interpretation. Doesn't make it fact. And I know they're doing the best they can, honestly. I know I do the best I can, and I'm not always perfect.
Obviously, the UFC has done a great job with the athletes transitioning to television. I wanted your thoughts. You shout out guys like Anik, and you have some of the other ones. Brendan Fitzgerald calls fights also. Some of them, who haven't been in the cage, also calling the action, because I think there's a bit of that, the fraternity, like you haven't been in there, you don't know it the same. Can you speak a little bit to that, the non-fighters, and how they're able to really call the action and really just show their knowledge, despite never having been in the cage themselves?
Honestly, can you name some of those people that you're talking about, please, and be specific? Because the only ones I know are the ones that I work with. I work with Anik, I work with DC, I work with Bisping, I work with Felder, Fitzgerald. Off the top of my head, those are the ones I've worked with the most. So can you give me an example?
No, I just mean people
of non-fighters?
Fitz, Anik, Rogan, technically.
Yeah, Rogan is special because he brings a quality that we need. I don't think people understand how much this sport needs Joe Rogan. He's the most listened to voice in the world right now, and he's a comedian, so he's got a thing where he can say things that none of us can say without getting canceled. And so he's got that little thing right there that gives us something to piggyback off of. Not to mention he's got the voice, and he's been doing this so long, I learned a lot from him. The sport itself, yes, we may know more because we've been in there, but Joe Rogan brings a special quality. I hope he does this next to me forever, to be honest. I really do. I love working with him. I love him as a human being and what he stands for right now, especially this day and age. He's a powerful human being. Anik, same. I want to work with Anik for the rest of this. If he quits, I said, I will slap you if you quit. I need you. Don't you dare. Me and Bisping, do I really need to touch on that? That's back and forth. He's just fun. He's my friend. I'll never forget, Bisping came to I lost one of my fights, and he came to my after party. And he partied with me all night. I'll forever have a space in my heart with Bisping. Whether people know it or not, I love that guy. And DC, again, we go back and forth and we bicker like brothers because he's like my brother to me. I just love him too. Just need him to watch some film.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.